She was the platinum blonde goddess of 1970s television. With just one look, Loni Anderson could stop time, and for 4 unforgettable seasons on WKRP in Cincinnati, she did just that. But beyond the glitz of primetime and the sparkle of red carpet appearances, Anderson carried with her a storm of secrets, heartbreaks, and moments of quiet resilience that no audience ever got to see. Now, just days before her 80th birthday, the world has lost not just a beloved actress but a woman who lived, loved, and fought harder than most ever knew. Loni Anderson first captured America's attention as the glamorous yet sharp-witted receptionist Jennifer Marlowe. Audiences expected a pretty face, they got a powerhouse. She turned a supporting role into the soul of the show, earning 3 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Emmys in the process. But Anderson never saw herself as a bombshell. In fact, years later, she joked that becoming a sex symbol was as surprising to her as it was to anyone else. "I never thought I would be Loni Anderson, sex symbol," she once said with a smile, "but I embrace it." For her, it was never about the labels, it was about taking every opportunity and running with it. Even her granddaughters, she said, found it hilarious. And maybe that was her charm, never taking herself too seriously, even when the world put her on a pedestal. The fame from WKRP catapulted her into new projects, one of which would change her life forever. In 1983, while filming the racecar comedy Stroker Ace, she met Burt Reynolds. What began as on-screen chemistry quickly exploded into a real-life romance that had tabloids in a frenzy. They were Hollywood royalty, the couple everyone watched, the fairy tale everyone believed in. When they tied the knot in 1988, it was a secret affair at Reynolds' private ranch in Florida. Surrounded by friends and the Florida sun, Anderson described the moment like something out of a dream. "I feel like Cinderella. I married Prince Charming," she said. But if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that fairy tales rarely last. Behind closed doors, the picture was far from perfect. Years later, Reynolds would describe the marriage as a mistake, bluntly calling it a really dumb move. In his 2015 memoir, he didn't hold back, accusing Anderson of extravagant spending and obsession with image. Dresses, jewelry, household items, he claimed she bought everything in threes. "I never wear a dress after it has been photographed," she reportedly told him. He even shared how she maxed out a $45,000 credit card in under 30 minutes. But that was only one side of the story. Anderson's version painted a darker, more painful portrait. In a 1995 interview, she made chilling allegations that Reynolds had physically abused her more than once, often while under the influence of drugs. "Burt always said no one would ever believe me because he was Mr. Wonderful and the world loved him," she said. "It wasn't just about physical pain, it was emotional, psychological, and deeply isolating." On top of it all, there were financial battles, with Anderson claiming he often failed to pay his $15,000 monthly child support. Their adopted son, Quentin, was caught in the middle. The divorce dragged on for years, with final payments only settling in 2015, over 2 decades after they split. Reynolds eventually cut a check for over $154,000, finally closing a chapter both would carry for life. And yet, when Reynolds passed away in 2018, Anderson responded not with bitterness but with grace. "Burt was a big part of my life for 12 years, she said. "Quentin and I will miss him and his great laugh." It was a statement filled with restraint, respect, and a quiet acknowledgement that, no matter the pain, some bonds never fully break. That ability to forgive, to look forward, defined much of Anderson's life after Burt. She didn't fade away after WKRP. Instead, she evolved. Roles in shows like Nurses, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and VIP allowed her to reinvent herself, often leaning into comedic roles that played with her image rather than relying on it. In 2006, she starred as Tori Spelling's mother in So Notorious, embracing self-parody with confidence. And in 1995, she released her autobiography, My Life in Heels, a candid look at her struggles with love, identity, and keeping her family together amid Hollywood chaos. Through every appearance, every line, Anderson made one thing clear: she was more than just a beautiful face, she was a survivor with something to say. Her personal life continued to shift, but by 2008, she found something she hadn't had before: peace. She married Bob Flick, a musician and founding member of the folk group The Brothers Four. This time, there were no tabloids, no dramatic headlines, just quiet, lasting companionship. Away from the spotlight, Anderson focused on her family, her grandchildren, and her joy. In one of her last major interviews in 2021, she spoke with warmth and wisdom, embracing the sex symbol label while laughing at the absurdity of it all. She had lived through so much, yet somehow, her spirit seemed untouched. But life, as it often does, took its final bow too soon. Just days before her 80th birthday, Anderson passed away in a Los Angeles hospital after a prolonged illness. Her family released a heartbreaking statement, calling her a cherished wife, mother, and grandmother. And while her fans mourned the loss of a television legend, those who knew her best grieved the passing passing of a woman who gave everything to her craft, to her loved ones, and to the world that watched her grow. Loni Anderson's story isn't just one of fame, it's one of endurance. From a small-town girl in St. Paul, Minnesota, to becoming a household name, she faced every twist of fate with a mixture of charm, grit, and grace. She married 4 times. She raised 2 children. She captivated millions. But perhaps her greatest legacy isn't the awards or the headlines, it's the quiet strength she carried. Even when no one was watching, her smile lit up screens, but her resilience lit up the lives around her. Loni Anderson may be gone, but her story, her impact, and her legacy will echo far beyond the credits. What's your most unforgettable memory of Loni? Share it with us in the comments, and if her story moved you, don't forget to subscribe for more untold journeys from Hollywood.